In school, teachers have to do something in order to keep classrooms in order. But how much is too much? Whether the student went too far or the teacher was in a bad mood, there are some punishments that go too far. Monster Closet. A pre-kindergarten teacher and her assistant from Houston, Texas lost their jobs after they used the janitor's closet for punishing their 4-year-old students. They called the closet the Monster Closet and held the door shut with their feet, turned the lights off, and told the kids that monsters were going to eat them. Duffel bag. 9-year-old autistic student Christopher Baker was stuffed into a duffel bag with the drawstring pulled tight as a punishment for misbehaving in class. When Christopher's mother, Sandra Baker, came to school to pick him up, she was horrified to hear her son's voice coming from the bag while a teacher's aide stood and watched. Sandra complained to the district, which prompted an investigation. Homophobic humiliation. A first-year principal caught 2 students fighting, and as punishment, he forced the students to sit in the middle of the quad and hold hands. Students then started insulting the pair, throwing homophobic insults, and overall being terrible. The punishment caused outrage in social media, and parents were calling for the principal's removal. Paddled. A mother of a 6-year-old boy in Marshall, Texas, was livid after her son came home from school with bruisings on his bottom. She found out that her son was paddled 3 times by his teacher at Robert E. Lee Elementary School. The boy was paddled for each time he disrupted class, and the number of paddlings increased with each session. Lunch on the floor. In 2008, at Charles Sumner Elementary School in New Jersey, Vice Principal Teresa Brown got angry after a student spilled a water jug on the cafeteria floor and proceeded to force 15 or 16 fifth-grade students to eat their lunch off the floor for 10 days. Parents of 7 of the students sued the school and won a settlement of $500,000. Students who weren't even present for the water spill were forced to eat off the floor when they returned to school. No braids in class. When 7-year-old Lamia Kamen wouldn't stop playing with her braids in 2009, her teacher had had enough. The teacher called her up to the front of the class and then proceeded to use a pair of classroom scissors to cut off one of the braids. When Lamia's mother confronted the teacher, she was met with half-hearted apologies, and Lamia moved classrooms. The teacher ended up getting suspended without pay. Wrong color shoes. A 5-year-old student was taken out of school and brought home by police because he wore shoes that were the wrong color. His family couldn't afford a pair of black shoes, so his mother colored a pair of red and white shoes black in order to cover up the decoration. Some of the ink must have come off because apparently wearing the wrong colored shoes is worthy of calling the cops. Strip searched. In 2003, a 13-year-old student named Savannah Redding was put through a strip search after a student accused her of carrying prescription-strength ibuprofen, which was the equivalent of 2 Advils. School officials searched her backpack but weren't satisfied. They then sent her to the nurse's office and put her through a strip search, making her take her bra off and checked under the elastic of her underwear, all the while without informing her parents. Needless to say, Savannah's parents took the case to court. Drawing on faces. 4th grade teacher Summer Larson found herself in hot water after she allowed students to write on the faces of students who had failed to meet their reading goals. Larson's original intent was to give an incentive for students to meet their reading goals. If a student failed, they could either skip recess or allow their peers to write on their faces. 6 of the 9 students apparently didn't want to miss recess. Jailed for missing school. In 2012, an 11th grade student named Diana Tran was an honor student, going to school full-time and working 2 jobs in order to support her siblings. One sibling was in college and the other was younger. Diane's busy schedule caused her to miss 11 days of school in 6 months, and Texas state law requires a maximum of 10 unexcused absences in a span of 6 months. The 11th absence caused Diane Tran to be jailed for 24 hours and be charged with a misdemeanor. A judge soon dropped the charges. Bubble gun. In 2013, a 5-year-old kindergarten student from Pennsylvania was accused of making terrorist threats after she threatened to shoot a classmate with her Hello Kitty bubble gun. A school official heard the threat and went through the girl's backpack and found out that she didn't have a deadly gun. The girl received a 10-day suspension, which prompted her parents to hire an attorney and meet with the school. The suspension was reduced to 2 days. Suspended for a haircut. In 2012, a 12-year-old middle schooler named Patrick Gonzalez was suspended after he had his hair cut with a portrait of NBA player Matt Bonner on the back of his head. Patrick's mother cleared the haircut of the Spurs player with the school's first, but then Patrick was suspended until he had his head shaved, citing that the haircut was a distraction. When the Spurs heard about the incident, they gave Patrick free tickets to the playoffs. Do you have any ridiculous stories about punishments from school? Let us know about them in the comments. But until then, here's a couple other videos we think you should check out. And don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks!